All right, a different day, a different walk in the woods. Different woods, actually. Yesterday I was up Blue Mountain. Now I'm up in an area called Patty Canyon, which is stunningly beautiful, very popular. It's been a popular recreation area since I was a kid. There was actually a fire on the mountain just down the road in Patty Canyon a couple of days ago, and firefighters worked very hard on it. And then it rained quite a bit too, so happily that's over now, which is great. Oh my gosh, this is a paved trail. I was on the little dirt single track, but okay, we'll do this. Anyway, today I wanted to focus on two things. One, being in one's 40s or 50s and taking on this kind of a challenge or a lifestyle change. And two, because of that, not hurting ourselves, not injuring ourselves. I'm actually going to probably walk a little slower today because this will be like day 5 in a row, which I have to be honest, think about what I've said in the previous videos. That's usually more than I do without a day's break. And that's me doing exactly what I do, which is too much. I get into something and I do too much. And then I hurt myself or, some other thing that deters me from doing it again. So, no bueno, not good. I'm already out here, so I'm going to take this walk, but I'm going to take it a little slower today. And you should too. Better to get your walk in if you've already planned on it and just modify it. Walk slower, walk a little less. Do whatever you need to do to make you feel like you accomplished something. But do remember to take those breaks, or at least for me, that's what's important, is remembering to take the day off every once in a while. This is day 5, I think, and I will probably not walk tomorrow. I'll probably just I have to be at the office tomorrow anyway, so I will just let my feet, my legs, and whatnot, my calves recover, and then be back at it on Friday or Saturday. Hopefully Friday. I think I'm working with some clients on Friday, but I think maybe I can squeeze it in earlier or afterward, later. But we'll see. But the point is, I have to be careful because, I think a lot of people are either they do too little and never accomplish their goals, or they do too much and they sabotage themselves. And I am definitely one of those people who, when I commit to doing something, I tend to do too much. And I tend to injure myself. Or something crops up that makes me need to stop. And then I can't jump right back in. So, my foot's a little sore. Taking tomorrow off, I think, is prudent. Probably shouldn't even be doing this right now, if I'm being totally honest with you guys. But like I said, I'm here. It's another beautiful day in western Montana. And so I'm doing it. I'm just going to do it, suck it up, and keep going. And, you guys may have noticed I'm not running a marathon here. This is me going for 15 to 17-minute walks, which is, doable. And again, I invite you guys to come with me. If you're just finding the channel, put me on and put me in your shirt pocket or something. Or hold me in, the arm that you're swinging as you're walking. And listen. And we can kind of talk together. And if you need to take a break, pause. You can pause and put a comment in telling me what you're doing, how far you're going, what your success is. Maybe the success for you today is getting that half a block in, or a quarter block, because you have been plagued by health problems or injuries in the past, but you really want to make changes. So to those in that situation, I salute you, as the saying goes. You know, maybe you've had a serious health incident, or maybe you've had chronic health problems, and you want to feel better, you want to be healthier, but you can't just jump right in, and it's really disappointing or depressing to think about, daunting to think about. But you can stand up, and you can go outside, and you can walk 100 feet and back. And tomorrow, you go out and you walk 125 feet and back. And the same the day after, and the day after, and the day after, until before you know it, you're doing half a mile or a mile. And then 2 miles. And maybe a year, 2 years from now, you could be doing 3 miles. This is not unrealistic. In fact, it's very realistic. Not only is it realistic because people do it all the time, I know it is because I've done it. I've been in a position here where my health was not great, maybe a little better than it is now, but not great. And I started really small, just maybe walking around the block, feeling a little wheezy doing that even. But I built just a little bit onto it the next day, and the day after that, and the day after that. And then I was doing miles and miles. You know, probably the best case in point example, I ended up in the hospital about 5 years ago. I think about 5 years ago. I was there for 2 nights with undiagnosed health conditions, unknown to me health conditions. And I came out, and the hospital did right by me. They got me a good diagnosis, or a correct diagnosis. And they did put me on some medications. But we talked more about lifestyle changes, eating better, getting more exercise. And it wasn't too long after that. Oh, here comes a cyclist. Hey. Wasn't too long after that I went up one of our many beautiful local recreation wilderness areas here. And without even meaning to that day, I trudged around in the woods for about 8 miles, 8.5 miles. Felt fantastic. So it can be done, and it can be done quicker than we think if we're careful. We need to be mindful of our bodies. We need to be mindful of our psyches, not putting too much pressure on ourselves, not psyching ourselves out, not beating ourselves up. That's one of my best things, honestly. Being critical, maybe even self-sabotaging, but certainly being critical and negative toward myself is something I've done, I think, all my life. And I tend not to show it or do it very publicly. It's all just inner conversations in my head. Maybe call it inner turmoil. Turmoil might be a bit strong, but maybe not, I don't know. But give yourself some grace, especially if you're starting really small, or you feel like you're starting really small. Give yourself some grace and some space. Don't go too hard. Don't be too hard on yourself. I'm already feeling myself starting to pick up the pace here, and I need to be careful, because this is the kind of day, beautiful day. I'm feeling pretty good, even though you can hear me wheezing a little. This is the kind of day where I could go a little too hard for a little too long. And tomorrow my foot or ankle could be killing me. So I'm actually going to intentionally slow it down here a little bit. The other thing, and these go hand in hand, as I was saying, being over 40 or over 50, I'm in my mid 50s, heading toward my late 50s. And I don't know how you guys feel. This is not what I expected. Nobody warned us, right? Nobody warned us that we go from being, cute, smart young kids and turning into large adults with health problems. And, if you are, as I said the other day, if you're somebody who's suffered with these challenges your whole life, I really feel for you. My empathy is there for you, because this has only been a thing in my life for more or less the past 10 years, and really only more or less the past 5 or so. It's progressive. It's been progressive. So if you have a whole lifetime of wanting to feel better, wanting to be in better health, feeling self-conscious, maybe even bullied, my heart goes out to you. Really does. I was a teacher for over 20 years. And thankfully, kids these days, I really do believe, are nicer than we were back when I was a kid and a teenager. But bullying still happens. And bullying still happens a lot around body image. And it's not exclusive to kids. Happens to adults too. So if that's been your life experience, or even your recent experience, I feel for you. I feel like it's been in the background in mine. I haven't had too many awful experiences, but it's there. It's hovering in the background. So to combat that, we need to give ourselves grace. We may need to surround ourselves with some new people. Or if we can't, we just have to learn how to graciously and gracefully ignore the ones who think they're helping but aren't. And I think a lot of times that's what it is. They're actually trying to help. They think they're helping, but they aren't, because they're living a different experience. They're not living your life. They're living their life. And in their life, they plug X into the spot that X goes, and they think that's the only way. And you happen to know that X actually fits in a couple other boxes as well. And you can pick. So, let them down gracefully. Just say, hey, thanks for that. Thanks for the advice. I'll give that some thought. Give that some thought. I think that's a good way to let them off and let yourself off the hook. Because simply by saying it, you really did just do it. And then you can kind of go on and ignore them or ignore that and keep the peace. Keep your own peace. So, yeah, being middle-aged isn't all, I don't know if it was ever cracked up to be something great. But it's not what I had planned. It's not how I had it planned. But we have to try to improve. We have to try to make improvements for ourselves, for the people we care about. And for me, this is my single biggest one. Getting healthy again. Getting more fit. Hopefully knocking out a few health issues in the process. Those would all be wins for me. And I think they would be wins for you too. So, onward. Keep walking. Walk that 100 steps, 100 feet. or walk that mile, or walk that 2 minutes, or walk that 20 minutes. But go out and do it. And then come back and eat something healthy that tastes good. You know, I would be tempted when I drive back into town to stop at Dairy Queen and reward myself. But that would kind of undo what I've been doing. So what I can do is I can go home and I can pick something out of the cabinet or the fridge that is also very tasty and considerably healthier and satisfy myself with that. Is it as much of a fun indulgence? No, it's not. But I need to be a grown-up. It's time. So, with that, we're coming up on 16 minutes, and I will see you guys tomorrow, if I choose to go out, or the next day, if I take a break. Have a great day, folks.